I was going to get all bombastic. This is Plist number 14. Um, it is a new year, and it's a great time you don't necessarily have to new me, new year bullshit. You don't have to necessarily do that, but I think one should always strive to do a better job. Um, I thought I would pick an interesting locale for this video. It's kind of a cool look, right? Um, of course, the fact that the sun is shining right at me, it looks cool, but it makes it so my eyes are even more Asian-y than usual. Squinting. Um, so, fuck. So the last P-list, had a ton of fun doing it. You could probably tell me and old Matt Hankins and our kids, and it was a great day. I got everything I wanted to do on the first that I want to do continually. Um, but the reaction to the P list overall was really great. But one, there were a few people that were like, Jacob Ashworth at 10, I should have been number 10 at least instead of him. And then William Huckabee put up a fucking post on Facebook. I'm not going to put this here because I want to get this out as fast as possible, but he said basically he made his pitch for Matt Sells, so that Matt Sells should have definitely been in that top 10. And really, there was probably only the top three on that list had a better year than he did, and he made a very impassioned argument. And all I got to say about that is he's absolutely fucking right. Now, I could say, and this would be true, that originally Matt Sells was in my mind when I was coming up with the list, but it's just through the process of doing the list and writing a bunch of names down and then arranging the ones that I thought should be in the top 10. And is this person better than this person? That's how I kind of do these things. I just go like, I match two people up and I go, well, this person beats this person. And then I go, that person against this person. And that person beats that person. And so on and so forth. And then other factors go in. And then I make my top 10 list. And but I was fucking wrong. I wanted Jacob Ashworth on the list, in no small part because I knew it would cause controversy, but also, I wanted to make the argument that he had been the biggest babyface, and then he had fallen, and then somebody was there to pick him up. And I thought that was kind of a cool story, and it landed him at 10. But fuck, I was wrong. And so this is going to be the P list number 14 is 10 wrestling people that should have been there instead of Jacob Ashworth. But before we get into that list, um, uh, I fucked up something else. And so I had to sort of make amends for that yesterday. And so because it was the first, and I try to do everything on the first that I want to do year long, I want to fix this mistake. And so when I received the Burger Time shirt, it was Larry something or other that was on the box. And the box was kind of oddly shaped. And so the shirt was in there and I pulled it out. I did an initial glance to see if there was a note, but so often these things don't have notes or they just have packing slips. So I've gotten in the habit of not digging around for a note because most people don't leave one. Well, for Burger Time, the Burger Time shirt, a note was left, and it was by Matt Hankins. And the note is fucking awesome. So I had to tell him I'm fucking sorry. And that was yesterday. And then I didn't get to see the note until today. And this note is fucking rules. And I didn't ask his permission to read it, but I assume he put it in with the Burger Time shirt initially, so he would have been okay with me reading it. I'm just going to take it as that and I'm going to read it because this note is amazing. It is likely that you have this shirt. I did not, by the way, but I thought you might need a size update. Additionally, it was an excuse to write this gay ass letter and to tell you how proud I am of how you handled a very difficult year. You had the opportunity to throw yourself into any number of bad situations and have an excellent excuse for being there. Instead, you threw yourself into getting healthy and, more importantly, fatherhood. You were also brave enough to ask your friends for help when absolutely necessary. All commendable. Keep on trucking. Love, Hankins. 2020's looking pretty great, y'all. But it's only going to start when I fix my fuck ups. And Plist 13 was a fuck up. So let's get into top 10 wrestlers and wrestling people that could have been on the top 10 people who had a great 2019 over Jacob Ashworth. I'm going to start. I'm going to break P-list protocol. And instead of going from 10 to 1, I'm going to say number 1 first because the answer is obvious. And then this will let me get over the most painful part, which is William Huckabee being right. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Shit. And you also know, I mean, I might as well just lay it out there that fucking William Huckabee is probably somewhere on this list. Fuck, this is fucking awful. But let's just start with 1, because that's the guy I should make it up to, Matt Sells. I will say that originally you were designed to be on the list, very high on the list, in fact, maybe even higher than Huck would have put you. But I fucked up and I forgot. But everything that Huck said is true. I'll reiterate some of it here and possibly add stuff as well. Nobody did more with less. Nobody went against the grain. Nobody fought against what people said was the right thing to do more than Matt Sells, and he ended up being very right. He wrestled the most matches of prominence. He just had the best time, and now people are trying to get the rub off of him. That's a pretty great fucking year. Again, Tuesday, you're going to want to listen to Tipping Points as we announce the winners. But at the very least, Matt Sells, who had never fucking come within a mile of winning any of the categories, has a very good chance of winning Male Performer. He had a great fucking year and certainly should have been on the first list. Number 1 is Matt Sells. Number 10. Now we're going to go from 10 all the way. So, number 10. James Caleb Kitchens. Now, part of me doesn't want to put him on this list because it's almost rewarding him for bitching and moaning and pissing and whining in public. But, fuck, he deserves it. Plus, maybe this will do something else, which is to get other people who didn't make the other list or this list to go, wait a minute, I had a better fucking year than James Caleb Kitchens, and then I can throw him out too, which will give me so much pleasure. But fucking Viral kind of came into its own, and in spite of being a fucking cock ass most of the year, James Caleb Kitchens, he got his fucking foot in the door as far as recognition goes and got it for Viral as well. Number 9, Todd Wiley. Todd. I actually had to fucking look up his last name because everyone just calls him Todd. And if that isn't a sign of success, that when you say Todd, everybody knows you mean the Booker of Southern Fried, that is the definition of success. He should have been there over Jacob Ashworth. Sure, he helped make Jacob Ashworth, and then he helped save Southern Fried. Pretty fucking great. And people have attached the label genius to him, and now it's common vernacular. That's a pretty good 2019, Todd. Boy, this shit really flies when it's outside. Number 8, Dylan Frightmare from Dylan. Another guy who the last name isn't important. Dylan means the Booker of Southern Honor, right? Did great stuff with AEW. His videos, putting various angles over and shows and his ideas have all fucking, everything's coming up fucking Millhouse for Dylan and Southern Honor. He had a great year. He wrote this great retrospective on the year that he had, and I don't think that was his attempt to go, I should have been on the P list, but I certainly took note of the year that he had when he wrote about it, that he's been in Georgia. And so he makes this list of guys who should have been there instead of Jacob Ashworth. Number 8, Dylan Dylan. I'm going to have to collect those cards later. Number 7, Priscilla Kelly, who I still consider a Georgia wrestling person, and I think she would be okay with being called that, even though she's not nearly the star that Chris Henry is. I couldn't even fucking say it without laughing. Yes, Priscilla Kelly had a great year. Priscilla Kelly started the year off with controversy, and Priscilla Kelly is a big reason that I started doing these fucking videos when I did that first video in defense of her. More importantly, though, she landed herself a thing at MLW, and she proved the naysayers wrong. All the wrestling bigwig pundits were like, she will never get signed. She will never get anywhere doing that shit. She will never, 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 never. If you're not following Priscilla Kelly on Instagram, for example, look what happens when she puts up a post about anything or she puts up a picture. Look at how many people click like alone. That is power, and she has acquired it in 2019. And some people will note that there's something written down here. I put 7B Darby Allin. Now, I know he's not really a Georgia guy, but he certainly has had a great year, main eventing at times at AEW, and he did it his way, and now he's getting these interviews where he said, WWE, I don't think they would have used me right. I'm happy where I am, and he's doing really good, but the main reason I put him at 7B is because he gets to fuck Priscilla Kelly. That's a pretty good goddamn 2019. All right, moving on. Number 6, Cyrus. Got called back to Japan. That happened technically this year, I think, or at least the announcement of it did. But nonetheless, that guy went from being the guy that I was like, his fucking goofy ass face is never going to be a monster. Now he looks like a monster. He acts like a monster. Japan treats him like a monster. Now he's going back and he's fucking made it. Congratulations to Cyrus. Another guy who should have been on the other list for having a great 2019 over you know who. Number 5. I call him Murder. I just can't get used to Blacklist Uno, which is on me. I'm a fucking old person, so I put both of them here. Murder/Blacklist Uno. He got Josh Wheeler to stay on at AWE. He has ridden out an incredibly tough year, and now he's making good booking calls again. And he's fucking led the way. He fucking butted heads with Gary Lamb and fucking came out of it unscathed. And in fact, probably to the good. And AWE is now riding high. And you can't. And if AWE has the most momentum going into the new year, and he's fucking captaining that ship, had a pretty great fucking 2019. Murder/Blacklist Uno. Number 5. Woo! Number 4, Matt Griffin. Criticism comes his way, but at the end of the day, you don't give a fuck. Delicious. Does he book himself into angles? Yeah. Did Todd do that too? Sure. Dylan? Doing it less and less. We'll see what that means. But Matt Griffin, he's having a good fucking time. He's doing something that's close to his heart. He's raising money for charity, and action always draws in the 200 range or above. Scenic City, he's part of that shit too. He's a part of big shit. And he's trying to make things happen even more. And now he's going to be a part of WrestleMania week in Tampa. Pretty fucking awesome. All these motherfuckers are going to fuck around and make me go to goddamn WrestleMania week in Tampa. I don't fucking want to, but then part of me kind of does. We'll see. Matt Griffin's number 4. Guys who should have been in the top 10 had a great 2019. Now we're down to just a couple more. Remember, I've already said Matt Sells is number 1. Number 3 is William Corey Hollis. Fuck, I fucked up, didn't I? Oh, well, it is what it is. Number 3 is Corey Hollis. People go to him for advice. Bigwigs in wrestling listen to him. He's part of the fucking hottest angles and the biggest groups. He was the best heel the whole year. And frankly, the promo shots with him in it, or when they use a fucking still shot of him coming off the top rope or just whatever, he not only is the best heel, he's got the best facial expressions. He takes the best pictures as a heel. He's got it going on. And the only reason he might not be higher on this list of the list that he should have been on the other one is, frankly, I get the feeling that he's very negative about wrestling, but he shouldn't be. He's never had more sway and authority, and his way is becoming the way, at least in his immediate circle of influence. A lot to be fucking happy about. Maybe I'm dead wrong. Maybe he's just so good at playing the heel that I'm reading that into him. But nonetheless, Corey Hollis, take a bow, right? You should have been on the other list, but you're on this one. Number 3 is Corey Hollis, which brings us, to the who is number 2? I already said Matt Sells is number 1. We've already named a bunch of other people. What wrestling person should have been on the other list of 10 people who had the best 2019? It is indeed the incredible Jeff G. Bailey. Fuck you, Huckabee. Jeff G. Bailey. He got honored. He got put in the Hall of Fames. And he even one-upped Gunnar Miller, because when Gary Lamb wanted them both, this is the guy who turned down the great Gary Lamb. Because he don't give a fuck. He's rich, bitch. He's having the time of his life. I fucking reviewed his writing, and I was scared to do it, in the sense that I didn't want him to be disappointed. Not in what I said, with how many people would care. The video, which was almost an hour fucking long, talking about his writing that had nothing to do with wrestling, got more views than almost every other fucking video that I did. Jeff G. Bailey, and now he's inspired. He's fucking lost weight. He's actually working out. Jeff G. Bailey is working out for his health. He's having the time of his fucking life. He can come back into wrestling whenever he wants. But here's the cherry on his fucking Sunday of a motherfucking year. Drew Blood, in his attempt to put freaking Doc Brock over the top for Manager of the Year in the voting, and to get in a backhanded slap at fucking Southern Fried, from what I saw. I could be wrong about that part. But he invoked the name of Jeff G. Bailey, which immediately, in the eyes of almost everybody, completely invalidated his argument. So, in his own way, by doing nothing, Jeff G. Bailey was Eminem, and motherfucking Drew Blood was Nick Cannon. And the more Nick Cannon invoked Jeff G. Bailey, the more we were reminded of how much we miss this motherfucker in the wrestling business. And that is the very definition of power. You are not dead until you are forgotten, as the story goes. And if that's true, then Jeff G. Bailey is going to live forever. And that is our makeup P-list. The other thing my kid friggin' admonished me for, and she's right and I hate it, was that she was like, if you're doing a collab with somebody on YouTube, Dad, you're supposed to put their information. Well, I'll just say this in case I forget to do it below. Matt Hankins, be friends with that motherfucker. Platinum Championship Wrestling, like that shit. Get with Matt Hankins, because he's going to put out a whole lot more videos, and he's going to be even more awesome. Just as awesome as the 10 people that were on our list today. I guess technically 11 if you count Darby Allin. God bless him. Platinum bless him. Platinum bless us everyone. It's a beautiful day in Florida. Almost as beautiful as me.